All right, good evening and welcome to Futbol En Vivo on Club Deportes Season 2, Episode 33. We are every week on clubdeportes.com. Be sure to follow us on the platform formerly known as Twitter at Futbol Austin. That's Futbol Austin. Follow Club Deportes at Club Deportes. For all the latest and greatest sports news and commentary, well, you got to go to clubdeportes.com. I am your host, Eric McCoy, and I am joined by a man who despises Travis Kelce even more than he despises Tomas Pochettino. It's the world's number one Swiftie, David Alvarez. Welcome to the show, David. Welcome to the show. Oh, you want to wear it? You got a hat you want to wear?
Yeah.
Well, good thing, David, because
there is a hat available.
I brought a hat for you. It's perfect for Austin FC fans these days. They don't want to be recognized in public.
Very nice.
There you go.
You can make the holes really quick.
There you go.
Yeah. And then you can use it.
The good thing is that it's paper,
you can use it for Halloween.
Yeah, it is.
Wolf out all the way. Okay.
Yeah, that's
you're not even seeing it there. I think I wasn't even in there. But anyways,
can you do us a favor? Just keep that on the whole show, David. I think that'd be perfect for you.
Well, I did get another one with a hole in it. So
wait,
you brought his own.
I brought 5 more because everybody needs to wear it.
5 more?
Wow.
On Wednesday, everybody needs to be wearing them.
Okay.
Brought one for everybody.
I got one for everybody, and
I
got one already
pre-fold. Wow.
Yeah. So you should try that one on.
Yeah.
I think there's something we can. I think you can use that one too.
I'll try that one. Yeah, let me try this.
What do you think about that?
This one doesn't have pre-holes.
Okay.
But I'll try it on anyway.
Okay.
Hey.
So we're ready to.
I just need to put my glasses over.
What was the question again?
But yeah.
Okay.
This is a nice look for us here, I think.
Any form of protest is good. I
think right now we're at that point now.
Are we good?
So this is the hat you wear.
We got called any attention?
Well, this is the hat you wear when you lose to the 14th place team in the Western Conference.
Yeah,
I think this is the hat you wear.
This is the appropriate headwear for
when you're winless in 10 matches. I think this is the hat.
Yep, this is exactly the hat.
Well, let's make it popular, guys. I think everybody needs to bring one to the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least just to say something.
Okay. Well, we'll get into it. You're jumping ahead, David. You're jumping ahead of script here. Okay, interesting intro there, but before we proceed along here, we got to introduce the other guy here sitting to my left.
Okay.
It's going to be a man who celebrated the saddest Copa Tejas triumph in the history of the Copa Tejas on Saturday night. That's going to be Jorge Chavez.
Yeah, it was quite a celebration.
That looks like you.
A lot of jubilation and just joy.
Oh, that was juicy.
Of winning, winning the
Texas
Copa
is
Tejas.
green again. Sebastian Rusi. What?
Yeah, that's American comedic star Kevin James. You may know him from The King of Queens.
I mean,
you know that?
The King of Queens.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I mean,
indeed.
That sums it up. Well, fellas, interesting start to the show. I think we got a case of senioritis here these last couple of shows. We're just kind of ready to get this season wrapped up.
Just get it over.
The losses keep piling up. The disappointments piling up. And
I'm at a point where I'm speechless now. I don't know what else to say.
That's a bit of a problem, Jorge, because you are a co-host of a show where speech is kind of required.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to muster up words.
Okay, because what's interesting though is I think Austin FC they're trying to figure out just how many must-win matches a team can lose in a single season. They're on a quest because
to mathematically figure it out.
Yeah, it's still mathematically alive. But yeah, Austin FC trying to figure out how many must-win matches a team can lose in a single season. They, of course, lost 1-0 on the road to the Colorado Rapids. Let me remind you guys, Colorado dead last in the Western Conference.
No coach.
No coach. Hey, maybe that's a good thing.
Interim coach.
Maybe that's a good thing. Have no coach.
Maybe
no coach is better than
be a good thing.
certain coaches you could have.
Could be a good thing, yeah.
Before we get to the highlights, I want to David, you look wound up right now. I'm gonna start with Jorge. We're gonna keep you waiting, keep you on your leash for a few minutes here. We'll start with you, Jorge. Then we'll get into that lineup and the highlights. But just real quick, just some initial thoughts on the match. And I ask, any positives at all?
None. There were no positives.
There was some positive. There was some positive.
Hey, you go by numbers,
Rigoni,
right? You go by numbers, right?
Rigoni has some nice
Did he
shots.
score?
No, but he had a couple nice
Did
shots.
he score?
I didn't.
I rest my case.
I like it.
I rest my
Hey,
case.
Judge, I agree with you.
So you're okay. So
But I have to see that I saw that was a positive to see that Rigoni was involved. Some of the good corners,
He
and he hit the ball very
He did
hard.
have a good game. He did have a good game.
I mean, lately he has been producing what he should have been producing before, but
I think it's a little bit of too little too. I think it's a little bit of too little too late, but I think you're right.
do you like him, David, playing through the middle in that center forward position? It's kind of a new role for him. I mean, we've seen this the last couple of matches, kind of out of necessity because Austin FC don't have a
They don't
center
have
forward that
anybody.
can play 90 minutes.
But
anyways.
he's playing better. I mean, he's playing better. I mean, he's just hitting the ball harder, and that's no masitas for me. And so he's just there, but the rest of the team is not there. We can talk about the other players too, but the game in itself was a great reflection of what is happening with the team right
Yes.
Why do you say
Yes.
that?
now. Because every single goal, both of the goals,
Well,
were-
there's only one goal in this game.
I mean, one goal and the one that
it should have
they
been
couldn't be
two
the goal, the other one.
okay.
So the goal they scored on us, there was three players lost the ball. They could have been in control of the ball. Mm-hmm. Three players.
Which three players?
Valencia, Cascante, and Gallagher. Three were closer to the ball than the Colorado forward.
Yeah.
They were way closer, but
I think it was
three of
actually the
them.
defender.
They had
that
wrong
scored.
angle. They just missed.
And then you have the other goal, the goal that we missed, that Rigoni put it, but not so hard. He put a hit the hair lower, but then Bruin missed an open shot on the goal, and it's not the first time.
You like Bruin?
I did like it, but you cannot miss. Remember when he put his bat against the ball, and then it's this miss? No, I'm sorry.
You
cannot
always
do
like
that.
to bring up that butt situation.
Yeah,
I mean,
You're a
yeah,
big fan of
I'm
bringing that up.
fixated with that. But anyways,
Interesting turn of the
let's
show.
get. But that's my point of view. I think. No, I think.
Senioritis these
But
days.
I think that's a reflection and the fact that the team controlled the ball, like always been the goal of George Wolf or the coach, controlled the ball. We even have more shots on goal but not that many.
It wasn't.
What was the stats?
Okay, so Austin FC, 63% possession to Colorado's 37, 13 shots, 5 on target for Austin FC, 6 shots, 3 on target for Colorado.
Imagine with that. Even in the stat, they shouldn't even win. Like, they were so bad. The other team was so bad.
It should be done to the XG.
We mean that we were worse than them.
Well-
They couldn't score. And, I mean, it's a sorry situation. I mean, that's why I say I talk about the goals. Everything is sorry. And no apologies. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay, well, he did manage to find some positives. He's surprisingly, Emiliano Rigoni is a positive for David. We don't have to necessarily point out positives because I that was a bit facetious when I asked that. What were your thoughts on the match overall? Then we'll get to the lineup and the highlights.
they
here in
just
a
looked
second.
listless.
They really did. They really did. They didn't look
There's
engaged.
no
right?
motivation. They were just running through the motions.
This was
It was just
boring match.
boring match.
It's a horrible way to spend a
boring
Saturday
match.
night. Horrible way to spend a Saturday
and
night.
and like I said, they didn't look motivated. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. It just. I mean, other than Rigoni, like David said, they didn't look like they wanted to win. They just like, I think they mailed it in, starting this game, and I think they did it on purpose.
Really?
I think they did it on purpose.
You think this was an effort to potentially force
boot
action on?
Wolf? I think that team's Wolf out.
Wow.
I think the players are Wolf out now.
Okay.
Yeah. And
But if you are Wolf out,
I mean,
and the players are Wolf out, would Eric be a Wolf out? That's a good question.
Me?
after this loss to the worst team in MLS.
I mean, you are the last of the
what else
Mauritians.
do you need, Eric? What else do you need?
I'm not. If Wolf were to be fired, like tomorrow. I'm not gonna.
You're
shed
not
too many
gonna.
tears.
Oh my God! No.
I just. We've gotten into a lot. I do think there are just larger roster issues here, but I am not happy with Wolf at the moment.
No.
But there are many things. Let's get the lineup pulled up because there are a few things I'd like to point out in regards to this lineup. Okay, so this is the starting 11, and really, to me, the biggest issue I had was, and this is a player that I think gets a lot of heat, some of it unfairly, but in this game, he was quite bad. Owen Wolf.
Oh,
and his position in this game, playing him on the left wing.
Yeah, I mean,
when he's looked good this season, it's in central midfield. That's what he is. He's a midfielder. He's not a winger. And sticking him on the left, I mean, John Gallagher had so much work to do up and down all night because Owen was just doing nothing out there on the left flank.
And I think obviously
Owen Wolf at least got a yellow card. He threw a yellow card.
He did something. I mean, he put himself on the stat sheet.
Something positive.
So there's that.
Something positive.
But this just goes to show how important Driussi is.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, even in a worst team he's probably ever been in his career, he's still that important.
Yes.
And he still attracts attention from defenders and all this kind of stuff. And when you don't have a player like that dynamic, that he can turn the game on a whim. He's still got that quality. And so not having him in there, it's Austin FC's predictable.
100%. I mean, all that possession and created very little. And here's the question. Okay, so you start Owen Wolf at left wing.
Yeah.
Just earlier this week, on Monday morning, we saw Alex Ring play left wing and play it quite well.
Yeah.
He scored a goal against the LA Galaxy. So why not just run that back and play Owen in midfield? But why switch that up? You had something that actually worked, earlier this week.
I would have liked to have seen a 4-4-2.
Okay.
With Owen and Ring at midfielder with Valencia. Because if you put Rigoni and Finley up front, I think they're much better attacking. They're much better at attacking that way.
That's interesting. You could have Finley kind of running in behind, Rigoni dropping off. So it could be a good dynamic.
And you have Owen, it is pretty, you could say natural position at midfield, and Alex Ring where he belongs at midfield. Mm-hmm. And at least it's a different look because forcing a 4-3-3 by throwing Owen Wolf as a winger, it was a recipe for disaster.
It just didn't work.
It didn't work. It just
really did not. And then we'll get into it. But Owen Wolf actually going to left back to finish the game, which just was bizarre to me. We saw that a bit against the New York Red Bulls, that match a couple weeks ago. It didn't look good then, and it did not look good against Colorado. Yeah. Not sure why that is going on exactly.
I don't know what – I mean, it goes to show that this was Coach Wolf's doing. Mm-hmm. He's the one that set up the formation that way. And he insists on throwing that formation out there. And it's just not working.
Well, he
doesn't have the players for it.
Here's the other thing. Earlier this season, when Driussi was out, you went to a 3-4-3. Yeah. It had some of your best results of the season. A draw at Portland, a win in Seattle. Why not run that back again in this game?
You have the players. You even have Leo Väisänen out there.
Väisänen out there. You have Gallagher. You got Lunkovic that was sitting on the bench.
You have the captain Julio Cascante out there.
Julio Cascante. Cascante. He's a guy that could use an extra center back sitting alongside him to kind of offer him some assistance.
Yeah, and so any formation other than the standard 4-3-3 that Wolf prefers out there, he needs to play to his players' strengths. And instead, he's forcing players to play his system. And the players, I don't think, feel comfortable in that position.
And the other thing, too, about this lineup, this is a player I'm really starting to grow to dislike. And not anything personal. I like where he's from, Colombian. Sure. Johan Valencia is not good.
No.
As the deepest midfielder, he slows the attack down. So he has no passing range. The guy cannot pass the ball more than 3 feet. And when you're trying to launch a quick counterattack, it just stutter when it gets to Valencia.
Yeah.
It's not working. Like when Pereira plays that deepest role, he can get on the ball, drive past defender. It is so much fun to watch.
Right.
But in this kind of format, how they were set up with Valencia as the deepest player, he just offered you no dynamism from that deep lying midfield.
He did not contribute. And to be fair, it's not his forte to be an offensive player. he is a defensive midfielder. That's what he
But
probably was
still,
brought into
he
play.
was really involved in the goal, very involved in that goal. He
Sure.
missed that header.
Yeah.
He missed that header, and that's how the
a
goal
good
happened.
point.
I just don't think he's very good at all,
even
to be honest.
as his natural position as a defensive midfielder, he still missed that shot.
Yeah, he's still
I-
just not
I don't
good.
know
He's
what
just not a very good player. I think that was a. I think we can blame that one on
Yeah.
the previous sporting director for bringing that
Sure,
signing
yeah.
in. So
But-
hopefully,
but-
under the new regime, we do
But
not
you have
make
to go
signings
back.
such
Who
as
brought
that.
what and when and what? You know, you can go.
It's a
all
little
the way.
complicated, doesn't
You
it?
can
Duffy?
go
Hard to keep track of these things.
6, 7, 8, 9 years since
9 years.
Freakert decided to bring George Wolf. Well, that since he knows George Wolf.
Oh, okay,
He knows
okay.
it's 3 years here and 6 years in Columbus. So they knew it. That's when they hired him.
I think what Precourt's thought was that if he couldn't have Greg Berhalter, he could have the next best thing.
Yeah,
I
but that's
think
it.
that was his. That was
He liked
his
that
thing.
4-3-3. That 4-3-3. That's what he likes.
And let's be
And
fair.
he said it.
And
He
let's
said
be
it when
honest.
he hired him.
Josh Wolf is a protege of the 4-3-3 from Berhalter.
Yeah.
Except Berhalter has the players to play that position. Has multiple sets of layers of players that can do
Oh
that.
yeah.
But you also need
That's
to
a
control.
different-
You need to
different
be able to control the team and the locker room.
Yeah,
That's what you need to do.
exactly.
And
it's
in 3 years, a 34.8,
Is that up to
even
Is that up
less.
to date?
That's
Is that up to
updated.
date?
34.8% winning percentage
Okay.
by the coach is untenable.
no
Untenable is a
Untenable
very,
is a very good word.
Very good word for that, Dubby. Now
Yes.
let's go ahead if we
Totally.
can roll the highlights. Yeah, if we must, I think we
I
should.
guess we gotta. If we gotta, we gotta.
Yeah, but
But-
yeah, this.
And this was not a formidable.
That is not a very
lineup.
good. I only heard
It's
of
not very
two of
good.
those players. There were
Yeah.
Rubio and Bassett.
Rubio got called for the Chilean national
Rubio's
team.
very good.
Rubio's a good player.
Got
Rubio
called to
is
the
a good
national
player.
team
Yeah,
along with
so-
the other guy from.
Yeah, can't even remember that guy, but yeah.
No, the guy that played with us the other day. It was he scored against us.
Yeah, it's and
There
so
are only two Chileans in the MLS, but this is the 18 minutes, and it was obviously a hand.
Yeah,
You think that was a handball?
I think he got the shoulder. It was right here on the area.
but it was
I
it's
mean,
almost close
there
to
have
the
been so
body.
many calls, but this was a free kick, and but he didn't take that many steps to do that. Like to hit the ball there, you need to hit it way harder.
Yeah,
He only took two
needed
steps
to-
for a free kick.
Yeah, he needed to.
You need to do at least 3 or 4 steps back to hit it strong enough so the goal is not going to get there.
Yeah, he gave the goalkeeper too much time to figure out where the ball.
You got to use more power on the kick.
Yeah.
So you need more technique basically on the free kick. And that's the only positive thing
Yeah,
that
that's-
you can say that Wolf did,
he
right?
did get
he drew that foul.
He did draw that foul.
And this is where you can see all the 3 players missing. First Valencia, then Cascante, and then Gallagher.
It goes all the way
three
to
of them.
it goes all the way to the back at
Yeah,
the
that's-
foot of the striker.
Really inexcusable, right? You really that just can't happen.
Look, you can see like how Cascante didn't even jump. He didn't even jump. Look at the one that jumped was Valencia, but
And he's
he
too
missed the
short.
jump.
Yeah.
He totally missed the jump, and then Cascante was fighting with the other guy, and didn't even jump.
And Gallagher
and the ball was coming to
and
him.
Gallagher
and Gallagher was expecting Cascante to be there.
Had his back to the goal. I mean, what is this team doing?
3 players missing.
I mean, 3 players
really
just totally.
Is that a reflection on the coach, Duffy?
Of course, because it's a set piece. They cannot get you in a set
You-
piece
you-
all the time.
exactly.
I think
You-
that is a good point.
That's
That
what
is a good
teams
point.
that
Practice those
they don't have
things.
more possession. They don't have possession, but they always do set pieces and wait for you when they're not that good. They wait for you. Set pieces.
And set pieces are the only piece of
Alvarez say
information.
that, remember?
Are the only piece, are the only play that a coach can get really involved with in practice by instilling what he wants them to do. If it's free range or whatever, he probably has a little bit of control.
Hey,
over
that
the
was
ball
nice by pass by
But-
Lima, but it should have been. It should have been.
That
Bruin
should've
should have
gone
pulled
in.
that ball down. It should have hit the ball down, not up. And that's that. You lose power, and the goal is going to get it. So that's also lack of technique. And this is another chance. And then could have been the same thing.
Yeah.
He didn't put enough power, Rigoni, and then Bruin missed again, twice. No, you go to bed. No, you cannot be playing soccer anymore like that. Two misses, no Marquez.
I mean,
no.
And, I mean, this is
such an important game.
I mean,
it's not the first time.
I mean, this is not a world class goalkeeper.
He's a backup goalkeeper,
He's a backup goalkeeper. So, you expect.
The
I mean,
you just need to touch the ball.
Rigoni,
you just kiss the ball there. You just don't even barely touch the ball. You don't need to hit the ball so hard.
Kiss the ball?
Just kiss the ball, just with the chest. Use your chest, use your head, but don't hit the ball like.
And there's Valencia again getting beat to the ball.
And this was a weak shot by Colorado.
It was a good
bad
shot.
They were too. That was like really bad.
Again, if it wasn't for
Harris,
they are in last place, David.
Yeah, we can't really expect too much from them. But
they have won the last 3 games. I believe the 3 home games have won it.
They have been playing a bit better lately. I think they
won the last
and they were at home, so there's that.
And they have a decent amount of people in the stands. It's not New York or Houston, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, but
throwing shots at Houston, David. Nice.
And
US Open Cup winners.
It's gonna get a controversy with Mazatlan.
But here's
no, that's inexcusable. That was going nowhere.
I don't know what he was planning to.
And that was the Masita too. Like 2 bad shots. That was awful thing. Who was that? Pereira?
They looked like they looked like hopeful shots.
I did not see.
Oh my God, that was so bad. And Pereira have a couple chances too, and his awful shots from the outside. His shots are really bad. And then another bad. I mean, everything is bad. I mean, both teams are awful. I mean, and Rigoni, that is easy. What did you do? He just lost the ball.
He just lost the ball.
This was your man of the match, David. What's he doing?
He's putting it in the corner. And in the last minute, he just should have touched the ball easily and then moved to the left and score. Easy.
Yeah. Austin FC, look what you're doing to this man. Look at what you're doing to him. He's confounded by what's going on out there.
No, I mean, these guys are really bad. Sorry, but
this is an awful way to spend a Saturday night, wasn't it?
Did
you watch this match live, David?
No.
Okay.
I try, but I want to watch the UT game. That's what.
I don't think those happened at the same time because I was out at a restaurant when the UT game was on, and I watched this later. So I don't think there was. I don't think it was.
I was asleep by them.
Okay, you tired yourself out from watching UT. Okay.
Yeah. I unfortunately did watch this.
I did. Well, we host a show where we talk about this team, so it is. It does help to watch the game.
Later.
I watched it
later, but not live.
Okay.
I watched it
I
watched it live as a professional courtesy.
Okay, that's exactly how I watched it. As a professional courtesy.
Not because I was enjoying the game.
But especially, it's kind of sad the feeling that you have after you watch Tottenham play Liverpool. Like when you see that type of game, and then you see this kind of game, it's like
I'm gonna give you some advice. Don't watch European football and then watch Austin FC right now.
No,
it's you're gonna that's a bit of a come down.
I mean, it's a clear indication. Like another person the other day told me at the garage sale that she went to watch a Austin FC game, and she said she would never come back because they thought they were awful. The team was she was from Spain, and she was going back to Spain.
Well, she's probably
never come back because
she's probably a little bit biased, a little bit.
She said no, but she said the environment was good, the everything was good, but I said the team was awful.
Yeah, I mean,
she wouldn't come back.
Let's be fair. I mean, most fans go to enjoy the atmosphere, not exactly to watch the game. At least that's the way it's been.
Well, yes. Obviously, some people ask.
Maybe not the supporter section. They're still the loudest, but still.
Okay, I want to get into the supporters because we got a big week coming up here. Not necessarily in terms of the matches themselves, but in terms of fan reaction to the matches that are coming up. The final 2 home matches this season. Before we get to that, though, there are a couple points I want to make about this Colorado disaster. There was a quote from Wolf, and I know we're going to get to Wolf. We got some comments from Wolf and Danny Pereira, but I want to highlight something that he said in Phil West's Verde All Day newsletter. There was a quote
Highly recommended, by the way.
Very excellent.
Very, very good.
Yeah, very excellent stuff. But I believe this came from the post-match against Colorado. Wolf said, "I think we have done more than enough in these games to win." And he's referring to the recent matches. I want to point out something. So in this match, Austin FC, they did win the XG battle. Austin FC accrued 0.84 XG in this match. Colorado had a little over 0.6 XG in the match. But I want to break down that 0.84 XG. Okay, we just watched the highlights. There was one sequence there that spanned about 15 seconds where Will Bruin had a header, right? That initial header on the Lima cross.
Yeah.
That header was worth 0.19 XG. So after that header, the ball then ends up going to Rigoni. Rigoni has a header. That header was worth 0.18 XG. Okay, and then after that, ball eventually falls to Bruin, has almost an open net, a couple of Colorado defenders there, ends up skying it, over the bar. That chance was worth 0.29 XG. So all total right there, that's 0.66 XG. So in a match where they had 0.84 XG, 0.66 came from about 15 seconds. So in the rest of the match, where again, I remind you, Austin FC, 63% possession in this match, and for the most part, only generated just 0.18 XG. That, my friends, is awful. That is
terrible.
Really,
That's
really
terrible
bad.
soccer.
They did not, under any circumstance, deserve to win this match.
No.
This was a
But
garbage
can
display.
you count the 3 Pereira misses? Like he tried to take
You don't get a lot of XG from shooting from 40 yards
Oh
from
my
goal.
God,
You don't
he
get much of
keep
anything
doing
from
that and missing.
He shouldn't do that. That's not good.
He's trying. At least he's trying.
At least he's trying. But
But it's a third
he's
year.
trying something.
Unexcusable.
I'm going to be on your side on this one, David. He shouldn't be taking those shots. That's not. That's
It
not
should be
good.
that is one out of those 3.
But I think
Who's one of them?
it's out of desperation that he does these things.
I mean,
because
I'm sure.
he knows more than most that the team just isn't there. So he's just trying. He's trying his luck to see if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Hits the player in the wrong way. There's a little deflection somewhere.
Handball, perhaps.
A handball, something.
Oh my God!
And he's trying to put it in play, but that's not the way to play soccer.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I see your point. I understand, like, from Pereira's perspective, he's frustrated. He's going to try and make something happen. But in general, those long-range efforts, that's a sign that you have an attack that isn't working, basically.
You pass the ball into the box to get to the open player.
And Wolf wanted. I saw in the post match, he highlighted the penalty box entries that Austin FC had in the first half. Austin FC 62% possession. They had 3 shots. None of those 3 shots came from inside the penalty box. So you had all these penalty box entries. You're not shooting the ball. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in the penalty box?
That's really boring.
It is. It was
boring.
It was a very bad way to spend a Saturday night. I cannot stress that.
And I think the only 3 shots they took inside the box were those 15 seconds. 3 shots from Bruin and Rigoni.
That was it.
Those were the only shots inside the box.
15 seconds.
Everything else was from
That was it.
outside. How can they be high percentage shots? Even they're shots on goal, but come on, man.
Yeah. So this.
I mean, like David said earlier, it's not even with velocity, with power. It's just like a
Masita.
like a
Masita and weak shot. And then, for me, I keep comparing to the Premier League because when you see the Tottenham
well off Premier League
Liverpool bench, you see how powerful both bench were.
Oh yeah,
and then
well
you
want
see the
if you want to
Austin
compare
FC
that.
bench, and you see how weak our bench was. I mean, we didn't have anything.
I mean that's a harsh comparison there.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just
a little harsh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I want to bring up something. One more point. I think we'll get to the Wolf and Pereira comments, but I want to bring up real quick Will Bruin, who had a player that I like, and I think has mostly had an okay season for us.
Contributes. Well,
But I want Will Bruin, the man with the golden butt, David, that you're so fond of. But here's the issue that I have. This goes into my main issue with Austin FC right now, and that's the roster construction and just how ill-conceived this roster has been. You go into this season, you had Zardes signed, Zardes 31. You had a Rudy signed. He's old. I know he's 33, I think.
Yeah, 33.
So you have 2 strikers over 30 already on the roster. Why, when you're going for a third striker, would you sign
older one,
another guy who's also over 30, who can't play for more than 30 minutes at a time?
I think Miura from Japan is available. He's 56.
Can he play more than 30 minutes at a time? If he can, I would take him over Will Bruin right now.
56.
As much as I do like
would
Will
definitely
Bruin.
take him. But I think what happened is that the way this roster was built, they relied too much on experience and not enough on talent.
I think that's fair. It's an old roster.
It's an old roster, and the only salvageable guys would be a John Gallagher because he's still young, a Driussi because he's still young, Pereira, even Wolf, under better circumstances.
In midfield.
Not
at left wing, not at left back.
Leo Väisänen.
Yeah, he's been a little shaky coming back from this injury, but we'll
Kolmanic showed some promise, but he's hurt, so I don't know.
That's it. What about?
But that's.
What about the former captain?
Ring?
Our former captain.
I think Ring is gone, David. As much as
He's gone.
I think he's gone.
Contributed.
Believe it or not, I don't think he's very happy playing for this team right now. As hard as it is to believe that someone wouldn't enjoy playing for Austin FC right now, I don't think Ring.
Because you're quoting because people said that the other day and he wasn't very nice with the coach after.
That
was true. That was really true.
Well, getting this
picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, and getting the armband taken off of him, getting benched for the coach's son in the first match of the season.
I will say this about Ring though: if Wolf comes back, he's not coming back. If Wolf is fired or resigns or whatever, I think Ring gives it a go depending on the coach. I think Ring gives it.
I will keep Ring. I
would love to keep.
So you would keep Ring over Josh Wolf.
100%.
I think
no doubt about it.
Jeez.
No, we're not even
totally in
agreement.
agreement. Yeah.
Okay, well let's speak of the devil. I think we got some Josh Wolf interview footage post match. Danny Pereira should be in there as well. Can we roll these post match interviews if possible?
Hola Dani, pues en general, ¿qué te pareció el partido?
Obviamente no, con las energías bajas, perdimos y eso es lo que importa al final del día. A pesar de haber jugado bastante bien, no fue lo suficiente para sacar los 3 puntos. Tuvimos oportunidades, pero bueno, creo que eso es un resumen de lo que ha sido nuestra temporada.
Lo que ha sido la temporada, en realidad todo esto ha sido de la parte positiva del equipo. ¿Qué tan frustrado es que descuidos, porque fueron 2 descuidos contra, pues te voy a mencionar Los Ángeles y el descuido de hoy, de ahí en fuera fue dominio, fue todo. ¿Qué tan frustrante es esto?
Sí, no, lo mismo otra vez. Tuvieron 2 corners, uno en casi nos meten el gol y después en el segundo corner nos meten el gol y como he dicho, es lo que el reflejo de la temporada de que hemos tenido, que controlamos el partido, tenemos oportunidades y llegan 1 o 2 veces y nos clavan. Y eso es lo difícil ahorita. No sé qué hacer para corregirlo, pero así es como estamos.
Oye, nos quedan 9 puntos, perdón, nos quedan 9 puntos, tendríamos que sumar 9 puntos y rezar para que nadie haga los puntos. ¿Hay esperanza todavía?
Sí, yo lo que intento transmitir a los muchachos es que aunque estemos afuera de los playoffs, que no nos rindamos. Cada partido es importante, es el trabajo de cada uno y bueno, obviamente la idea todavía es seguir positivo. El torneo no se ha acabado, matemáticamente no estamos fuera, entonces intentar ganar el próximo.
First, I'm really, pleased. Again, our fans, give them a lot of credit. 200 strong in the corner. Every time we come to Colorado, the fans are awesome. They travel well. Voice is great. We wish we could have given them something to take back. Obviously, the opportunities are there. Yeah, we missed 3 chances inside the 6-yard box, and that becomes challenging. Obviously, if we can't take those opportunities, it's challenging to win games. But all the metrics that you can think of for this game other than the scoreline. I think our guys, once again show, and we dominate possession, getting inside the penalty box, creating chances. But we have to take those chances, and it's a story that's been played out enough. But I think the guys compete extremely well as always, and we're left with 0 points, 6 points off the playoff line. Still hope, and obviously the result in Dallas and Houston gave us to retain the Copa Tejas, which we're happy for the fans, and which is what's been a disappointing season in many ways. Obviously happy for them, but playoffs are a big driver, and we'll continue to push for that.
Josh, the maths are there, but the real thing, it's nobody has to do more than 3 points in the next 3 games. So what is next for you, for the team?
We'll get together on Monday, obviously talk about this game and prepare for DC.
Do you need to win these 3 games, and basically we need to pray for the other 4 games? How hard are, we have Portland, we have Colorado. How hard is the real thing, the real thing we're going to face?
Yeah, I think every game is difficult. Every game is challenging. You put together a team, you put together a strategy, and by and large, again, I think those things are implemented in a good way. We have to find ways to take the opportunities. And then in games like LA Galaxy, where we take opportunities, you have to find ways to finish the game off in game management, or keeping the ball, or making it 4-1 when you can. But, we'll review this game, and obviously we'll prepare for DC like we do many other games. We'll see who's available, see how Seba is, and continue to move forward. My motivation is my players, my teams, the fans. We want to win games. We want to perform. We want to be in the playoffs. This is it's been a trying year in a lot of ways. There's no doubt about it. But regardless of what personnel we have available, I think we've put players out there to succeed in the last every game. But certainly there's been plenty of opportunity in the last games to have more points, to be in a better position in the standings. And again, we'll get ready for DC United, and with the hopes that, as you said, there's going to need to be some help on the other side of this. But we will do our best to get guys ready and prepared, and obviously we'll see who else is available back home, and come home and try to get 3 points. And again,
so what are you so? What are you so? Go. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Their mute button didn't work as well as what I thought. What are you so upset about, David? There's hope. There's hope. There's
I love
there's
it.
prayer. There's all kinds of positive vibes.
I love it.
Right?
I think it's good attitude, because in Spanish we say when there's nothing left, right? We say la esperanza es lo último que se pierde. Hope is the last thing we lose when we have the calculator in our hands. So that's what you say in Spanish. It's hard to translate, but when you have a calculator in your hand, it's never good. Never good to have a calculator in your hand. But when you have it, the last thing you lose is hope.
So Austin FC need to not be looking at the standings right now, trying to calculate whether or not they have a shot at making the playoffs.
You always come from a weak point. You come from a very, very weak point of view, and you don't have much certainty. The 6 points. We need to have win pretty much 2 games to have any chances, right? Mm-hmm. And doesn't seem by the words, by the expression, and the way Pereira said it. Pereira said it very clear.
Yeah.
In Spanish, he say the game was actually a reflection of the team.
Season.
And the season, 2 set pieces, almost score in the first one. They do the score on us in the second, and that's happened all the time. We keep possession, and the other team just wait for us for the set pieces and the score on us. That's the end of the story. And that's what he said. It's like, but what you can do, he didn't have any explanation, but he was saying that pretty clear. And then when Jorge asked him about the future, what do you think about what they need to do? You think that there's still a positive message by the coaches to keep the hope alive. And I think that's really important.
So you like Josh Wolf keeping the positive vibes going?
I mean, come on. What kind of question is that? I like that. What I do like is that something is being done. I mean, we can. If I would be a boss, I would be the Austin FC president. I would get another coach really quick because I think we still have a chance. We still have a chance with another coach.
Okay.
But
so you do think the team has a chance, just not with the current
no,
coach.
you need an experienced coach that have dealt with these situations before. Crunch time.
Can we see the standings? Because
And somebody with 34.8% is not going to have that experience.
Well,
they didn't have it the first, the second, or the
I
third
think
year.
you could put Pep Guardiola in charge of this team for the final 3 matches, and I don't think this team is making playoffs. Unfortunately, David, I do have a calculator, and my calculator says not likely.
No.
Not likely. This
No,
team's making
it's
the
just- it's-
playoffs.
it's
Hope
not
is
gonna
dying.
happen.
Hope is dying for me.
And the thing is about this team, I mean, we talked about it last week. I think it's too late to fire Josh Wolf next week.
Okay,
They'll just let him they'll just let him finish the season. Win or not win or whatever happens, but
Well, let him do what it didn't happen to Fagundes.
Okay,
Right,
here we go.
pretty
This
much.
is this is
Okay,
the
that out of respect.
yeah, out of respect. And they've got 35 points. They're 6 beyond below Dallas. San Jose game looks suddenly very important at the end of the season.
hopefully. It may not
we
be.
need DC is the next one, and DC is just 1 point from the playoff in the Eastern Conference.
But what's interesting to me is that some of the Eastern Conference teams are so much better than the Western Conference teams. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at Nashville, they're the 7th team. They have 45 points. They are 1 point away from second place Las Vegas in the West.
Yeah. But
That's
it's
just
still talking
bad.
about
The Western Conference is just bad,
Hey.
and Austin FC is the worst there.
Yeah.
They can't handle a bad Western Conference.
No.
What are they doing what do they want to do in the playoffs?
Nothing. Nothing.
I mean,
You can get lucky, but you can say that Kansas City has 32 games playing. So we got a chance. I mean, we have a real chance if we can win the next 2 games. Because 32 points, you got 31. You can easily make it up there if you
You're
win
going to
those
need some
games.
help, David. You're going to need, Minnesota to lose some
Minnesota
games.
to lose,
Dallas
yeah.
to lose some games.
Yeah, but it's possible. It is possible,
And
but you
also
need
keep
to
an eye
win.
on the Galaxy below Austin FC. They've played 1 fewer match, so if the Galaxy win that match in hand, then they would
That's
jump.
a great point.
They would jump
Yes.
ahead of Austin
Yeah,
FC.
uh-huh.
So it's not good. It doesn't look good.
I'm just trying to be positive.
Hey, and I appreciate that because there's a lot of negativity in the fan base right now. Now, Jorge, you alluded to something that I think is interesting. It's a direction I would like to take us
Yes.
right now. You don't believe that Austin FC are going to make a coaching change before the end of the season.
no.
So, do you think they will make a coaching change after the
Yes.
season concludes?
Immediately after.
Immediately after
The San Jose game, they're going to fire Josh Wolf.
Okay, so you think?
that would be
I
what
assume you think
that
the
would
Austin
be
FC
what-
will not be reaching the postseason.
I think
he's gonna be a world record.
Loughnane and Borrell and Anthony Precourt, they know the dissatisfaction and the untenable place where Josh Wolf is at. He cannot. He has. I think he's lost the fans. I think he's lost the locker room. What else? I mean, what else is there? I think it's best for all parties involved to start fresh. Josh Wolf, he's probably a good coach, but he probably needs a little bit more seasoning. So I think it's best for him to move on.
So you do think he'll wind up in another job somewhere else?
Yes, I maybe not next year, but the next couple of years as an assistant, maybe somewhere along the line.
He can go to the U.S. Was Berhalter
He can
assistant?
go back to U.S.
Berhalter
Berhalter. He can go back to that. But
So I still won't. Jorge and I, as U.S. fans, will still not be rid of Josh
we know
Wolf
we know
watching our
where
team.
we know where that's coming from. But
You're glad you support Chile, Dubby.
But the thing is, I mean, what's next after Josh Wolf? Let's just be honest. He's gone after the season.
So you think like 100% gone?
I mean,
I think he's gone.
Well,
So
now-
who does Borrell get? We talked about it a little bit last week.
himself. He needs to be the next coach for Austin FC.
But he hasn't proved himself as a head coach anywhere.
He hasn't proved himself as a sporting director either.
He hasn't proved himself as a sporting director either.
Exactly. That's
And
the main point. That's the main point.
I actually wanted, because you reminded me, I had forgotten about this, but last week, off air, you had some interesting Borrell thoughts that I thought were really fascinating.
Okay.
And I wanted you to share those. I was disappointed you didn't share those on the air. Well, now's your chance,
your
David.
chance.
Well, what do you think of Rodolfo Borrell?
Well, Rodolfo Borrell came to the team in a very crucial moment. And when he took part of the team, he said some things. He said that he came for the team because of the fans, specifically. And then I got another interview. He said he came because of Josh Wolf.
Yes, he did.
So I got a little bit confused. I don't know. He came for the Wolf, for Wolf, or came for the people. So obviously, the history has shown that he came for Wolf because he came here and the only thing he has done actually was take idol of the team, Diego Fagundes, out of the team, and after that, you know all the consequences. What happened after that?
Well,
That was
it's
a
been-
positive-
I've
that
got
was a
a
positive-
10-match winless streak. since
But
that
he
trade.
even said before that he wouldn't get involved. He said it was too early. Remember in an interview, he said, I'm not going to get involved in these first negotiations. But he did get involved. So there's a couple things
and
that
I-
were inconsistent.
And I think he got involved by default. Because once he got
The
hired,
Galaxy asked
once he
this
got hired,
deal of Austin FC.
it fell on him to make this decision either if he wanted to or not. The Galaxy came calling. Was he going to pass off the responsibility to the previous Sean Rubio?
Yeah, no, I think that's a key.
He had to make that decision.
That's a key point.
So he was forced to it.
I don't think the plan was to do
I don't
anything.
think the plan. I don't think that was the plan.
But it's just, I don't know if it, but the point is, my point is the fact that he did it. And he had not shown that he had done any changes to make it better. He has not shown anything improvement, like the results are there. Since he came into the team
So let me ask
What
you,
record has been
David.
there?
So let me ask you this then. I mean, before that Fagundes trade, Austin FC were in 5th place, right?
Yeah.
At that time. So then Borrell comes in, trades away one of Wolf's key players, and now the team can't win a game, and yet all of your ire is directed at Wolf. But really, it's Borrell that made the key trade that kind of just tanked the season. I mean, should people be more frustrated with Borrell? Should the blame be?
I mean, honestly, I'm more upset with Borrell than with Wolf.
Really?
Yeah, I'm way more upset because he won the treble with Man City. He know what it is to win, to have a winning campaign with a 4-3-3 formation. He knows exactly what you need to do, and our team doesn't do it. Since he's still the 4-3-3 formation that everybody loves, and we don't have the players to do it, but they insist on doing it. And he knows that. So when something doesn't work, or when you say earlier, why Wolf doesn't play every time that a formation works, why you don't repeat that formation?
But
That's the problem. So if you don't see consistency, even in the formation or in how you play, there's something really wrong. And I think what is really sad is the team is bleeding. Like people is leaving the town.
They are
leaving
not
the
staying.
Austin FC. A lot of Austin FC's football fans no longer supporting the team.
I don't see a lot of Austin FC merch. I mean, it's anecdotal, but I don't see a ton of Austin FC hats, shirts anymore. Like, not like you did the first 2 seasons. I think there's been a couple.
But I do want to ask you guys this question: the Fagundes trade. Do you think Borrell does the trade if Josh Wolf said no?
No.
So
Josh Wolf was in agreement with the trade.
Of course.
So that's why he deserves some of the blame.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah. And
and also you don't take an idol like when you had the experience of being in Europe. You never take an idol out of the team before the end of the season when you are, when you're doing really good and you have real chances to make it to the playoff. You don't do that. Who does that? Who takes an idol when he's doing well and the players, all the fans think that he's doing really well?
Well, there was Lionel in Barcelona.
What?
And they shipped him off to PSG.
Well, they couldn't. I don't think they had the money to actually sign him again. So
and then there was Beckham.
But you could argue that
and then there was. I mean, I could name dozens of people that were idols at one time at their clubs, and they moved on.
Oh yeah, but those are exception. I'm talking about people that really like you. You can see in Latin America, you when an idol is there, they stay forever. They don't leave.
I could think of Riquelme. That's a very good example.
There's
Riquelme what?
Riquelme from Boca Juniors.
What about it?
He stayed his whole career there.
No,
Well, he went to Spain though.
Yeah, but he came back. And so
he went to Villarreal.
Yeah, and so
he went to the Champions League. He was second. They played against
right? Arsenal, right? Arsenal, wasn't it? Or
so he went with Villarreal with Pellegrini. That's what Riquelme went there. But then I think they lost with Borussia Dortmund.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
So in the last, it was a crazy game. But
we're
getting out of the way.
But I think a lot of people,
more interesting football.
But I think money.
Football.
I think what's more important here is that money talks. Mm-hmm. And
Funes had a big contract.
And we're now in a point in the soccer era that you don't see that anymore. You don't see a guy that's the pillar of a team be there forever. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Well, it's not. It's not about being there forever. It's just being there over. By the time when you are still playing, when you are still effective member of the team. That's the point. If you are no longer, the team is no longer good with you, you don't need it. You don't need it. As simple as that. Has been Rodriguez the replacement? Better than him?
No.
I think he should feature more than he does, though.
He should feature more.
A little perplexed why he doesn't play more minutes.
They got him already.
He's looked okay.
Play the guy. I mean,
yeah. I have a lot of issues with Wolf over the stretch of games. That is one of many issues that I have. But David, I'm curious. So obviously you have some frustration with Burrell.
Still frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Just how great is your frustration? Would you go as far as to say Burrell out?
Well, no. I mean, it's just like it's hard to say because I explained to you, and I think
you brought up some very good points.
Pereira said it, clear. Like the game this game with Colorado is an excellent reflection of the entire season, and probably the entire 3 seasons. Of the entire 3 seasons, it's a great reflection of that.
Yeah, second season I did go to the Western
and
Conference.
the number don't lie. As I say, the number the 34.8% winning percentage it doesn't lie. It's just like you cannot have 50 losses, right? And 30 wins.
I would have liked to have seen
any other team. Name me any coach in the MLS with a lower percentage still coaching.
I think the problem
that's
here,
gonna be my homework this week. Let's see if I can find one that's out there.
I think the problem here is the roller coaster ascension of Austin FC. They were low in the first season, high in the beginning of the season, then they started going low in the middle of the season, then they got high in the playoffs last season, then they got low and keep going lower and lower and lower. I would have liked to have seen Austin FC with some consistency. St. Louis notwithstanding, I would have liked to have seen some improvement the second year, and then some more improvement this year. So I think things got switched around from the second season and the third season. They should have been the
That's an
other
interesting
sides.
point. So you're saying like if Austin FC, the first season was bad, but if the second season actually more like this third
More like
season,
this season.
was an improvement from the first season, kind
That
of.
would be a dream season.
But then
Because then they would have been consistent. They would have had that consistency, and they would have been like Man City is now. They would just replace one player with an equal or better player, and keep the machine going and keep the machine going.
Younger players.
Bayern Munich did the same thing for a while. Barcelona, Real Madrid, So there's no reason why you can't have something like that in MLS. Seattle Sounders is a good example of that. They are mostly consistently in the top tier of the Western Conference. They had a bad season last year. They had a lot of injuries.
They won the
So
CCL.
it was a one-off.
Yeah.
But they're consistently on top. And they didn't start that way. They started off pretty badly, but then they built up.
Took a while, yeah.
And then they had Dempsey, and then they had Moreno and all these other guys. But they kept replacing one with the other, which was better, equal quality or better. So they didn't lose that much. I mean, they brought in what's the guy from Peru? What's the forward from
Rui Diaz?
Rui Diaz. Yeah. And so you could say that he was equal or better replacement for Clint Dempsey.
Yeah.
But the consistency was there. But to replace a Fagundes with a Memo Ochoa?
Memo
Memo Rodriguez.
Memo
Ochoa,
that would have been more interesting.
But
But still, you replaced Gabrielson with a Leo Varsanen, which you lost most of the season to an injury.
yeah, it's unfortunate. But was it actually
What was it?
Leo Varsanen.
I didn't know that he was actually available to play against Violet, but he wasn't called.
He wasn't called up.
He was available, and he wasn't called because there's too many.
Let's not bring up Violet.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about that. I was like, what? We had him. We didn't bring Sardes. We didn't get Rusi. We didn't get a ring, and we got beat. By a team
We've
in
had
third
that debate
division.
once ago.
Because they underestimated them. Well, we've been through this already.
But here's a question. I think you really bring up a very excellent point, Jorge. But was it kind of almost in a way like a kiss of death how well Austin FC did
Yes.
last season?
Yes.
Because it elevated the expectations of this fan base.
Yes.
And that really now almost to a level where it's impossible for them to, with this current roster,
with this
to
current
live
roster,
up to that.
Yeah, they can live up to that. And so I think a lot of what happened is that
What we do? We do?
We will?
Question mark?
Futbol En Vivo has a solution to be in playoff.
Oh, there
prayer.
it is.
Hey, that's the best. I mean,
David, we've got it all figured out, man.
in
I
green,
know.
by the way. so.
And green, San David.
Which is the color of the first Texas flag.
the first
Color
face
number.
of
As you
the
educated us before.
I don't know about the number 13, by the way, but
that'd be great.
But it lasted till 1813. The flag, the green flag, lasted till 1812 to 1813.
It's a wonderful sign.
Texas
a
has
well of knowledge.
green flag.
This guy knows his history.
He knows
I gotta give you that. Okay, I think we're getting close to being out of time. We got a big week.
Yeah.
Ish, maybe, coming up. Must win. I think that is for certain. I don't think you can lose too many more must win games. DC on Wednesday, LAFC on Saturday, both matches at Q2. Do you guys dare to give any predictions here? Let's start with you, Jorge. Are the wheels, have they just completely
We need 2
fallen
wins,
off here?
right? We need
It has
2
to be
wins.
2 wins.
So we
United-
don't need any chicken of by decisiveness. No pollo loco.
I think DC United, they have the coaching issue that could kind of be a little bit of a detriment to them. But
Just hold it for a second.
no, it's not
Found a new friend there, haven't
It's
you,
not
David?
indecision that I'm talking about. It's disappointment.
The chicken of
The
disappointment.
chicken of disappointment.
Wow.
Now, if you want to give me that one, I'll take the
You
chicken
throw a
of
little like
disappointment.
sad face on
Yeah, it's a
on
little
there.
sad face, not an expression. Like, oh my god.
Hey,
That is kind of does sum it up this season. Oh my god.
If Austin FC manages a draw in DC United, they have a chance
to make
But
the playoffs?
To make the playoffs,
They draw DC?
if they draw at DC, and they could catch LAFC in a sleeper, maybe.
LAFC seem like they're kind of just gearing up for the postseason
They're-
right now. They lost 1-0 yesterday to RSL, Real Salt Lake. So they seem like they're pretty much just ready for the postseason at this point.
And I think they could just they need to figure out if they're going to want to be a higher seed or a lower seed.
Yeah, they do still have that to play for.
Not that they're going to mail it in, but they could bring in some of their subs for that game.
I agree.
And so that could give them a chance to win. Mm-hmm. And so if they get a draw and a win at LAFC at home, that San Jose game suddenly becomes very, very important.
It does, yes.
Because if Austin FC manages to win, they could leapfrog them, I think. Or at least
So it sounds like you still have a bit of hope, Jorge.
So, I mean, I want to give the fans some hope. I really do.
Fans are...
But
they're not happy right now.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of stretching the truth a little bit. I don't see them in the playoffs.
So do you think draw and a loss? Loss and a draw? What do you think?
I think a draw and a loss.
Okay, so draw against DC, lose to LAFC. What do you think, David? You got the chicken of indecisiveness right there. You're going 2 draws? Is that what you're going to go? That's what the chicken would
that's
say.
pretty indecisive, right?
It'll be very indecisive.
I mean, honestly, we have the future is bright. I think we can win both 2 games.
You do?
Yeah.
Even with the coach with the 34% winning percentage?
34.8.
Okay, I'm sorry. I undersold you, Josh. I'm sorry.
Winning percentage. I mean, it is possible. It is possible. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. So that's why I think it's going to be a draw against DC, but it's going to be a tough game. But I think the players are going to make. They're gonna put all their heart and they're going to go up with a win against LA.
Okay.
I think they're going to just do it for the fans. I think think I want that. You know, it would be nice to go to the game and have at least a win. You know, we got 1 win.
At least one.
At least against LA, against the champion. Hey, we beat the champion. Hey, that's better than get Copa Texas.
Well,
we did win the Copa Texas.
Hey, that was the most important trophy in MLS.
We beat the champion. It's better, right?
So there is that positive.
Yeah, that is yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go without Driussi. It doesn't seem like he's likely to play. Ooh. I think 2 losses. Honestly, I think the season's over. I'm going 2 losses. I've been kind of positive the last couple of weeks. I'm just
so the real question is how long do you think Josh Wolf is going to be a coach for Austin FC?
Boy, I don't know. I think it's 50-50 whether he keeps his job or loses his job. I'm not quite as convinced as Jorge that it's a definite thing. I think there is some chance he keeps his job.
If he makes the playoffs,
I don't think he's making the playoffs.
If he makes the playoffs, if his team makes the playoffs,
no.
I think they give him a shot.
For sure. If by some miracle.
With the players that Borrell will be able to bring in, they might stupidly give him a shot.
We need a quick intervention here because the team is bleeding green all over the town. Like the oaks are falling left and right. I mean, honestly, you need to take a quick intervention. Otherwise, things are going from worse to worse. Honestly.
Do you think it'll actually happen? Just real quick before we part here. Do you think Wolf will lose his job at the end of the season?
Well, he should have lost it 2 years ago.
But will he lose it? Will it actually happen?
No, because he has lost 2 years.
So you don't think so?
No, because he's been here 2 years with a 30 awful percentage.
I actually...
That's just wrong. That is not adding up. How can you be 3 years in a row a bad coach and still get a job?
I actually agree with you because
that doesn't make any sense. It's going to be a world record. I think it's going to be a world record in the history of football. A coach with such a low percentage is still being hired in another season.
I think.
No.
I think they're going to. I think the next Austin FC loss is the last loss for Josh Wolf at Austin.
So if they lose Wednesday, you think he doesn't see Saturday?
They're going to give Jamie Arnaud.
Time is of the essence. I think time for me. If I would be anybody in charge of this, time is of the essence. You do it the fastest way. It's the only way to do it.
But there's too many roster changes that need to happen.
Huh?
There's no way it can physically happen.
Why not?
Because they don't have the roster for it. You're going to have to replace half the roster.
It's all about the coaching. It's nothing. What kicker roster? It's the coaching. It's the coach. That's the bottom line.
I don't.
Okay, I mean that this.
You see so many. What happened with Chelsea? Remember Chelsea with the same players won the Champions League.
With the same 30 players that they had.
So
The same players that
They have not had even
most,
half the players
no,
that they
no.
had last year.
The team who Tuchel took that team that was in the worst situation, and this 90% of the players were the same players that won the Champions League.
So if OSFC can bring in Thomas Tuchel, all will be well.
And all that talent.
Tuca Ferretti did the same thing.
So-
like coaches, that's their job. That's the coach's job. Bottom line,
I think
you
talent
gotta
ha-
win games.
I think talent
If you don't
has
win
a-
games,
I-
that's not your job.
I think
You
talent
look
has
for a different job.
I think talent has a little bit to do with it. Would you say that Cascante needs a new coach?
Cascante needs a new coach.
Yeah. You think he'll get better with a new coach?
Why not?
No, he's not going to get better with a new coach.
I mean, why
With
not?
Cascante, you get what you get.
No, but
is that going to make him faster?
You can teach him a couple tricks.
Is that going to make him faster? Is that going to make
No,
is the new
but
coach?
he can be
is
smarter.
Is the new coach going to make
He can be
Johan
smarter.
Valencia play a little better?
But what
offensively?
a new coach would do not to put it in. Just put it on. We're not going to put it in. That's it. That's if you think that way. Yeah, you could. He should not be playing. Bottom line, that's the decision of the coach.
Well, yeah, Hedges is injured. Yeah, he kind of has to play right now. Or you could play the one guy they got on loan who just has never been
Anything.
any
Never
appearances.
panned out.
Yeah.
Anything would do it, and this happens so many times when coaches are able to turn around, especially when team about to go to second division. They always do that changes. The teams they have to do the changes.
new
otherwise-
manager bounce,
or
right?
otherwise you're gonna go down. So many teams do that, and so many teams get rescued.
But do you
But
think
here, there's no rescue because there's no second division.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to worry about.
he
No
has nothing
accountability.
to- no
No
accountability.
accountability.
So
That's the bottom line.
so right now, they don't really need to change a coach right now. They could just ride the rest of the season. And
But that's the
think
way.
through at
If
the end
you
of the
think the
season.
football that way, well, that's what's the way to. One way
It's
to
not
think
the
it.
way I think about football that way, but it's just a reality that more times than not, when you bring in a new coach with 2 or 3 games to go, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna change.
That's a matter of opinion.
For something to drastically change, you need a new coach, a new experienced coach like you've been
Argentinian.
to. It doesn't have to be Argentinian.
Why not?
But just because there's a lot of them
But the
doesn't
best
mean
ones.
that they're the best ones.
That's the best ones.
I would like to see.
Who are the better Argentinian coaches?
I would like to see Mazatlan's coach here.
Yeah, any of those guys would do it.
yeah.
Any other Argentinian coach. There's so many of them.
Yeah, I'm sure our Tocayo would love to have that coach here all the time.
Yes, indeed.
Anything from Mazatlan.
Oh,
I mean, there's so many good coaches out there
There's
that
a
can
lot.
do this.
There's a lot
with
of
experience.
you know what, David? You bring up a good point, and we're pretty much out of time here. But Argentinian coaches, Chelsea, 2-match winning streak under Tomas Pochettino.
That's true. They have one there.
Not Tomas Pochettino.
So
No.
Tomas Pochettino got a job.
The real
God,
Pochettino.
what is going
So
on?
the good thing is Chelsea can be an example constantly in this case, right?
Exactly.
That's
2-match
Chelsea.
winning streak. It's
Yeah,
just a wonderful,
I mean,
wonderful thing. Okay.
That's amazing. Week coming up also in the Champions League.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we've had enough fun here for one Monday evening.
Yeah.
So thank you to our audience as always. Thank you to Club Deportes. Thank you to Gio behind the boards. Thank you to you two guys. Excellent stuff
Hey,
as
guys,
always.
thank you.
We'll do this again next week. Pray for us. Hopefully we have some good football to discuss.
Yes.
Let me check in. I mean, Mark, what?
Listen.